So we got to talking, and I wasn't attacking him or anything like that. I was telling him, it would be pointless to, do 3 other separate pages because you've already built a community here. And he was worried. Well, he said, well, the way that Instagram's warnings read is your content is not available to new followers. Yeah, we've all gone through that. However, my push to him was, okay, it won't last forever. It's not permanent. Go back through your content and get rid of everything that's from the bottom down. That's too racy. Post gym, attire and things like that. But my main push was, don't forget about the people that you already have. That is what I was trying to illustrate to him. Yes, it's great for your content to get to new people, but you've got to nurture the people that already follow you. That's ethics 101. It's not even business 101. That's ethics 101. You do not negate the people that are riding with you to go and get new people. And I hadn't realized that he was really like that. And I was talking to him, and I'm trying to give him solution after solution. And I'm like, listen, the algorithms change so often, especially for Black creators, melanated creators, people of color, because he is Caucasian and Latin. So he's a person of color. But, I'm letting him know, like, listen, you have to stick with this. And there was one point he got frustrated, and he was like, this is like a damn job. And I'm like, yes, social media is a job. What do you think we're all doing here? You really won't get anywhere in this social media game unless you present yourself as a brand, a well put together brand, and you drive content. This is a job. I've been doing it for the last 8 years. I know. So it was in me trying to get him to understand all of those things that I just said. And he's new to me, and I'm going to tell you why. He came out of his mouth, and he had the audacity to say to me, while my guards were down, you wouldn't understand because all you do is repost other people's content. You don't do anything on your own. So you couldn't possibly understand my dilemma because all my content is original. I want you to talk there because that's what I need, because you have been with me from the beginning.
Ooh, you're right. That I felt a little something in my gut. And when I feel it in my gut, it's not good.
Oh.
First I want to ask you though, how did that make you feel initially when he said that?
I'm used to it because usually it's jealousy and envy. They're mad at, who I am, or that it appears that what I do comes with ease, so much ease. And in that, they neglect the fact that I have spent 20 years mastering this. This was not easy. We'll get into that. I'm going to answer your question. It hurt me. It hurt my feelings because I was like, okay, listen, you're not one of the others. I have shared some of my plans with you, plans that included your look, your face, your agenda. I purposely associated your brand with my brand on purpose because of my thoughts and plans toward you. And you would have the audacity to say that to me. And I immediately said to this person, that's not true. And as I started to rattle off my resume, this person said, it's 6 a.m. Now, mind you, I've been coaching him since about 5:30. It's 6:15 at this point. And he's like, now, mind you, we've been having a whole conversation. I get into that part to say that's not true and defend myself. And he says, it's 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm not having this discussion. And he leaves. He later comes back and reads all that I said. But it was in that moment that I realized the envy and the usage. And it hurt me so bad because I realized all this person was after was the dollar. I needed someone that can say, are you out of your mind? So that's why I asked you to do this with me, because, this has happened to me one other time. And it was with somebody I really, really admired. And like I said, I grew to get their attention. You know, we all have motives. One of my motives for being who I am today was to be able to attract the attention of the people I looked up to and say, you inspired me. To have a conversation with those that I felt got me to where I am because they kept me going, you know? And you know what's so crazy? You're one of those people. You're one of those people. When I met you, Garland, you had a very firm grasp of who you were and who you be. And I understood and overstood that. And one day in my mind back then, I hoped to even remotely have half of the confidence, a fraction of the confidence that I saw in you. No one could rush you. No one could push you around. No one could say anything about you that you couldn't refute. And it took me, YouTube was what, 18 years ago? It took me 18 years to get this confidence. And so again, answering the question again, it hurt me for a second, but I'm a lot different now than I was then. I didn't have too much to show back then. I had a voice, yes, but I was singing everybody else's music. I didn't have albums out of my own. I didn't have viral videos. I didn't have a whole talk show one-on-one with the Queen of Shade. I didn't have 3 podcasts. I didn't have all that I have now. So it stung, but then I was like, And, you know, I went to my grandmother because she's usually up at this time doing her affirmations. She has a group of people that she has built, and she sends out affirmations. So she was up, and the first thing she said to me is, baby, when people say things like that to you, they're jealous of you, and you have to understand that. And she said, are you going to address it every time that you feel you want that this happens? She says, I feel you shouldn't. I said, well, I wanted to do a video once and for all, but you know me. I'm the Queen of Shade. If something pricks me, I'm not leaving it up to my rep to make a statement for me. I'm going to tell you where to go and how to go and when you can get there and as fast as you can get there. It's just who I am. So I just, again, thank you for being here because we can unpack this together.
You know, it's interesting because when I think about this, the last conversation we had, you know, we were digging deeper into your past, and the person and how you became to be who you are. Yeah. And when you said that you were, you know, you built yourself up to this status so that way you could reach, you know, be the level of some of these people so that you can talk to them. And you did that, but I also remember when you were I think it was college. Yeah. Like you did that same thing. Like this is just a part of your journey and who you are. Like you're not pretending to do these things. Like you did these things, you know, to get the attention or to not be bullied or whatever.
Yes.
It was a survival thing, right? Yes. And so now, as we come full circle, and I listen to you, first of all, I want to say how proud I am of you for how, like this is a Garland. This is definitely a Lady Garland demeanor for you to do this exclusive interview with me to unpack it because you do share your life with your audience. But this is a different, I could feel a difference from you, a more ease, right? It's just kind of like what you're doing and what you have been doing is having, because for myself, how I've grown into who I am is by having encounters like that, right? Because those encounters with people help you to realize some things about yourself. None of this has to do with him. He's hurt, he's upset, he's trying to figure things out, and he's so clouded in his brain that he could not see that you were the person to help him, to guide him through this so that he didn't have to be so discombobulated, right? So he's discombobulated, and at that point he doesn't trust anybody, right? So this really had nothing to do with the Queen of Shade and what your capabilities are. Right now he feels like nothing and like he has no control.
Which brought me to another conclusion as I was speaking to my grandmother this morning. I said, Nana, She said, yes, because she knew exactly where I was going. I said, I can still do what I do on social media, platforming the guys, but I can no longer pick my guys up off the street.
There you go.
I have to go to, like any reputable business, I have to go to the modeling agencies and I have to book the looks that I want so that it is all above board. And me being an ex-model, I know, they know it's a job. They come ready to do a job. They come with the media coaching. They come with the training. They come with the personality. They are ready to get paid because this is how they get paid.
Now it's just time for you to have another caliber of people and get paid.
Yeah.
Every time you do something, it needs to be, you need to be paid for. You've worked yourself to that place, right?
Yeah.
You worked yourself here, but then emotionally you're dealing with people here,
Yes.
rather than dealing people with people here.
Yeah,
right?
My therapist said what you just said. She said, you're here and the people they're here. She said, and you're trying to do this and they can't because there's a whole bunch of steps and ladders you worked your way up to. She said, it's kind of like when you're changing a tire on a car, the crank. She said, you're fixing the car, but you're doing all that work to lift it. She said, and they don't want to lift it, baby. They want you to hand it to them.
And you were.
I was. And that's the thing, Garland. I was willing because my thing was I'm an underdog. I come from the bottom. I didn't come from a family that had money or a family that supported me. I started from the bottom. When I tell you I got my start in the projects, my mother brought me home at 17 years of age. My father was 28. I slept in a wooden drawer that she took out of the dresser. That's where I come from. And I never wanted to forget that. But you know, Garland, I find that the people telling me not to forget where I came from are still in that position. Because no one succeeding, achieving, and being has ever told me to be humble or remember where I came from. Not a one. Not a one, Garland. It hurts me because these boys are a part of my life. But guess what? I gotta stop giving out pieces of my life to the undeserving. You gotta work. See, this is the thing. My grandmother said it to me this morning. She said, yeah, you gotta hire models, baby. She said, because models work to look that way. They work out, they eat certain things, they're fit, they know what comes with the job. You out here on the street like, oh, you have a great look, come on in here, and then you mad that he's too hood to do the job. He reverts to hood mentality. I shouldn't be paying you in cash. I should be sending it to your bank account so that there's a paper trail of your revenue, because models are small business owners and have to do the same thing I do. Take it all to the accountant at the end of the year. I didn't want to leave. But you know what? People do that. When you come from nothing, you try to help the people that were there in nothing with you. But I know of all people, this can't be done.
Yeah.
The mentality is the problem. The mentality. And even as we're sitting here, I now in this moment see how far I've come.
Good.